Many executives find storytelling challenging, even though science shows that stories make messages up to 22 times more memorable than facts alone. By mastering simple, memorable stories, you can win buy-in for your next big initiative and leave a lasting impression on every stakeholder. Consider the significant object study. Journalist Rob Walker purchased 200 thrift store items for about $1 each and enlisted 200 writers to craft unique stories for each object. The result? The combined value of these items soared from $129 to nearly $8,000, an increase of over 6,000%, demonstrating how narrative alone can transform perception and value. Today I'll show you practical storytelling techniques that top leaders use to drive engagement and influence outcomes. But before you can inspire, it's crucial to recognize the common speaking habits that undermine your message from the start. If you're new here, please subscribe and like because I share tips to help you improve your career. Julian identifies 7 speaking sins, like gossip and negativity, that instantly put listeners on guard and make them tune out. These habits are surprisingly common, even among experienced leaders, and their impact runs deeper than most realize. Gossip, for example, doesn't just erode trust on the surface. It triggers neural pathways in the brain that are primed for social threat detection, making your audience instinctively wary of your intentions. Judging others from the podium puts your listeners on the defensive, while negativity and complaining signal helplessness and sap team engagement. Under stress, many leaders slip into these negative patterns without realizing it, undermining their own credibility. Exaggeration is another classic pitfall. When leaders overstate facts or overpromise, they risk flooding their audience with stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, which Julian warns can trigger distrust and shut down creative thinking. Dogmatism, or presenting opinions as absolute facts, can make listeners feel attacked, cutting off the open dialogue that's essential for innovation and collaboration. Excuses are equally damaging as they shift responsibility away from the speaker and diminish accountability in the eyes of the audience. But the most insidious communication killer isn't just the content of your speech, it's the delivery. Treasure emphasizes that vocal elements like register, timbre, and pace play a critical role in how your message is received. A lower vocal register can boost perceived authority, while varied timbre and deliberate pacing help maintain attention and build credibility. Even before your audience processes your words, these vocal cues shape their subconscious judgments about your trustworthiness and expertise. Recognizing these 7 deadly sins is the first step toward more impactful communication. The next step is adopting practical tools and frameworks that help you replace these habits with techniques proven to build trust and drive engagement. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe and like because it helps us create content that matters to you. Also, if you want to take your skills further, check out our executive education and executive coaching programs at execbeat.com. One of the most effective frameworks for strong leadership communication is Julian HAIL: honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. These 4 cornerstones help leaders cut through noise and create trust quickly, especially in high-stakes moments. Treasure defines honesty as clarity, speaking plainly and truthfully. Authenticity means standing in your own truth, aligning your words and delivery with your core values. Integrity is about keeping your word and following through, while love, in the professional sense, is wishing your listeners well and fostering their success. Authenticity is non-negotiable. Julian notes that people sense insincerity almost immediately, so genuine communication is crucial. This is why polished but detached speeches rarely inspire action. Listeners instinctively look for vocal and emotional signals that someone is real and trustworthy. TED speakers like Simon Sinek demonstrate this well. Their ability to connect comes not just from what they say, but how they express it, consistently aligning their message with their beliefs and intentions. Delivery amplifies these principles. Treasure emphasizes the importance of vocal tools, register, timbre, prosody, pace, and even intentional silence. For example, speaking from your chest rather than your throat adds weight and authority to your words. Varying your pace and using pauses strategically keeps your audience engaged and gives your message room to resonate. Warmth in your tone signals goodwill and inclusiveness, activating the same neural pathways that foster trust and psychological safety. To put Hail into practice, record your next team meeting or presentation. Listen for steady register to convey honesty, your own style for authenticity, a consistent tone for integrity, and vocal warmth for love. Notice how these elements shape the response you get, then refine your approach. Small adjustments to your voice and delivery can have a measurable impact on how your message is received. The real value of Hail emerges when you see its effects over time, not just in audience engagement, but in the tangible outcomes your communication produces. Ultimately, the difference between forgettable speeches and memorable ones isn't the data on your slides, it's the human voice. When you apply Hail and vocal techniques, you create a space where listeners want to engage. Next time you speak, notice when your audience leans in during your story or pauses. Those are your Hail moments in action. As Julian encourages, aim to create sound consciously and consume sound consciously. This approach isn't just about information transfer, it's about leading with intention and impact. If you found this useful, share a moment in the comments when strong storytelling made an impact for you, and subscribe for more leadership communication strategies. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like because it helps us bring you more free videos. And if you're ready to grow your career, visit execbeat.com to learn about our executive education and coaching.